Test telephone switch to arm light on.
Switching command to internal. Fuel tank pressure. 9, 8, ignition. Main stage. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Fuel tank pressure.
In your face, Mr. Nick Durachi to share. Nick, it's a pleasure to have you here, bud.
I'm here. We're at Grandma's basement in Ohio. Life couldn't be better.
Woo!
It's just like the bracket reveal show from a couple seasons back where I wrongly picked Sugar Shane Johnson. I'm excited to be here for our Division II finals with Will on the controls. A little role reversal here for our finals.
Yeah, so if the controllers are messed up, it's Will's fault this evening. But I thought you were at Antiques Roadshow. I didn't know that was Grandma's basement.
Oh, there's some. I could just go grab stuff right now. There's so many things going on.
We can appraise it. We can appraise it right now. I feel like that's a great idea.
I'll take that Texaco sign back there. That looks pretty nice.
There you go.
That one? Yeah, for sure. You can have that.
Your controls still didn't work, by the way, so it's all right. I figured it out.
We fixed it.
Well, listen, tonight we have a doozy, my friend. Brett Hollinday coming from the loose side of the bracket. Maybe the hotter player coming tonight, taking on Philly. Mike Sigall, who's playing out of Pittsburgh, PA. He's the king seat holder, kind of dominated all season to get to this point. But Brett, defending champion, is going to have a lot to say about that tonight.
Yeah, there's so much to like about this matchup on both sides of the ball. And that's something that sometimes we say that and we don't mean it. I mean it tonight. Brett Hollinday using his veteran experience of being a prior champion and on top of that, having the hot hand, high streak, and higher average in this moment. And Mike Sigall, he won the seat. You can't deny the guy that won the seat as having some favor in this. It makes it for a very interesting matchup here. And I think it's going to be a hotly contested matchup at that.
Yeah, absolutely. Both players this season have averaged over a 5 in a match. So we could see some real high-level competition this evening. And for the finals of Division II, I wouldn't expect anything else. How about you?
I expect to have fun here. I get to have the easy job tonight. I'm in the Will Stewart-esque chair. Not Will Stewart's basement. Very different basement. I am in a basement, though, nonetheless. Let's go
Antiques Roadshow.
Let's get to the tail of the tape here, taking a look at the one, the only, the legend, Brett Hollinday, playing for Midwest Coin out of Legends Bar, a la Legend, name given by Corey Beck, that is. And then years played, 18 years played there. It's a adult age of dart playing, average of 4.74 and a 62.2% win rate. And he's throwing some darts from a drawer. They might be from a drawer, but they're loved nonetheless, Sean.
Yeah, absolutely. Also coming in here with 58 9 marks, 7 white horses. That leads. He has 153 7 marks. That leads. And 196 5 marks. That also leads. You know why? He is the only player to play triple-digit amount of games this season. He has 124 games played, which is insane. And in his last 3 matches, he is averaging a whopping 4.97. So, going to be tough.
And those are good real stats. And I have a fake stat here. Brett has the left arm over the right arm on his cross-armed pose. And you're going to see Mike actually has right arm over left arm.
That's more natural.
That might affect his dart game.
I think it might. It's actually really – Brett does have the awkward crisscross hands there. Everybody at home, tell us, which one do you do over the top? I feel like you are all going to agree that it does not go left arm over top of – wait.
I do
left over right.
Wait.
Yeah, I do left over right.
Well, there we go. We all just did it in the background. This is great content for the audio section of this.
Let's switch on over to Mike Sigall, a.k.a. Philly. That's why we have the controller behind the scenes for playing for H. Lazar at Drinks this evening in Pittsburgh, not Scoots. 9+ years of playing, so still in that not even double-digit age range for kids level of playing. Averaging a 4.62 MPR for the season, a 60.8% win rate, and he's throwing those super darts. Mike Sigall, 19-gram darts. He also has 33 9 marks with 1 white horse, 82 7 marks, and 107 5 marks. He has only played 73 games, or 51 games less than Brett Hollinday.
And that might be a factor because we know for one thing we've learned about Division II this season is if there's only a 0.1 difference in average or even more, it doesn't make a difference. It's going to come down to who has the hot hands tonight. Will Brett Hollinday's extra games on the board and his continued experience in the CSC reign true? Or will Mike Sigall kind of rein the hot streak in that he's been on lately across the dartboard?
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of Mike Sigall's victories happen with timing, good timing shots. So average aside, if he can still properly use the timing aspect of this game, he should be able to take down Brett. But as far as power goes, last 3 matches, like I said, Brett Hollinday a 4.97. Mike Sigall's last 3 matches 4.75. So that's quite a difference. That's almost the difference between the top and bottom level players heading into this season for Division II.
Well, one thing's for sure is that these guys are the top of Division II this go around. And there were some great challenges from Jordan Meyer and from plenty of other talented players this season that we saw. But these guys just have shown that they have that extra gear this season in these matches, in these critical moments. And frankly, I will say Brett's been here before. He's had the big crowd behind him at this bar. He's familiar with this. As on the other side there, Mike Sigall, yes, he's had crowds watching before, but its CSC final hits different. And I'm curious to see if that will come into play tonight for him.
We can only wait and see. I will tell you this. There's a lot of people behind the scenes at Mike Sigall's bar that are very recognizable people. You have Jason Lee has shown up there for the finals, which is impressive because he was just in St. Louis. So now he's over there in Pittsburgh. You can see Chris Alexander in the background. Orange Shirt has made her presence, which is always wonderful. And then the Ghost, if you see him ever so spookily sitting there in the background, that is the Ghost Don Stewart. But Philly off and running. He's going to be the larger gentleman in the middle of all those boards.
Often stumbling there. Those darts were well into the 5 segment and then recovered over to the 20, but was able to get that there quite nicely.
And let's go over the format and specific rules of the CSC Challenger Series, Nick. If you've never watched before, first of all, welcome. Thanks for being here. Hope to see you again next week on Monday because it's going to be a heck of a battle. It is a double elimination style tournament. This is the finals. The king seat holder is Mike Sigall, Philly. So Brett Hollinday will have to double dip. So if he wins the race to 9 tonight, they will play again next week. But players play a race to 9. Best of 17 legs, all cricket with a cork or 3-dart count up to start the match. As we get our first, boom goes the dynamite from Brett Hollinday. The loser of the previous leg will start the next leg after that, and if either player is down 3 or more legs, they will continue to go first until that deficit is reduced to 2 legs. That is the PPD player advantage rule. And Nick, if we go the distance...
And we go for speed, Sean.
Those players will cork for start in that last leg decider.
Oh boy, we're in for a good one, and Brett has shown some dominance early on this dartboard, despite Mike starting to get a little settled there in round 2. Round 3 was not fortuitous for him, as Brett Hollinday is now taking control of this leg. Interesting confidence signs here early for Mike versus Brett.
Yeah, Brett just continuing to do what he does. These guys are going to get on with this game. That's going to be kind of the beauty of the pace tonight. It'll be pretty quick. Mike plays pretty rapidly, and then Brett rhythmically throws with good pace as well. So exciting affair. And right now, Brett Hollinday way out in front in leg number 1 against the throw. But Sigall reeling him back in with a 9 mark of his own. Boom goes the Yenza there with that 9er.
That was a really good Yenza on it. I got to give you credit where credit's due.
Cheers.
Boy, this is a different side of the street here. I tell you what, this is a little bit different here.
I make it look easy, don't
Up,
I?
Bill?
Just say
Boom
it.
goes the dynamite.
Say I make it look easy.
Gosh, he's interrupting my dynamites now still. But Nick, yeah, it's not an easy job, I'm sure. This is the easy job right here, sitting talking darts with my good friend Nick.
I also want it to be known, this is no testament to Will's abilities, as this is programmed in the dumbest way possible specifically for me to control, and I want that to be known that is not a reflection of Will in this case. It's a reflection of my own brain.
I'm so glad you said that.
6.35 from Hollinday in leg number 1. Coming out hot.
Yeah, currently after 1 leg, Brett's averaging a 6.35.
That is impressive. The math that you can do in your head is just textbook. It is Philly's start, but that's okay. We don't need to watch that. Philly gets a 4 mark, and now Brett Holliday is going to shoot. You got to see his reaction on that 4 mark the whole time.
Nick, your scoreboard, dude, needs fixed.
Big 7.
What? The scoreboard's a little... What's going on here?
You got your right on your left and your left on your right. It's terrible.
It says it's labeled left, right. Left name, left score, right name, right score.
Left should be on top, not the bottom.
What? No, left should be on the left, right should be on the right.
Boom goes the dynamite for Brett Holliday and for Nick and Will, who are just sitting there arguing while great darts are happening on the scoreboard.
That's his third
They
of the
can't
night.
see this stuff, guys. Yeah, the 4th overall.
Guys,
My
I hope
goodness.
you're having fun because we're here to bring you on a great show, or let's be honest, we're here to bring you on a show nonetheless, and we're happy to be putting it on here because these guys, jokes aside, I mean, this does mean a lot, right? To get that Division II title, Brett Hollinday is trying to get this win tonight and win the next week and be the first person to ever complete back or 2 titles hold in Division II, as I worded that the worst way possible.
You were trying to find your way
Guys, I've been up for
You
24
got
hours.
there.
I got flights delayed, states changed. I've had a long day.
It's been an up and down affair, that's for sure.
Well,
The
we
question
know left
came,
is up.
how did Brett Hollinday go to the loser side of the bracket? He lost to Bob Anderson in round number 1. So he has rolled through the entire loser side since week number 1 to get back to this point. We've seen that happen a few times in Division 2, Nick. And he's up 2-0 early.
It's a good omen as he's
6'9".
I'm feeling fine.
Dang,
That's
he's
incredible.
fine.
Oh no, I got it wrong. We have the right wavelength though. Is Brett still averaging over a 6 for the match?
Yeah, like a 6'5" now.
6'5"
Ooh.
Should teach math.
I said like a 6'5".
Let's talk about though, and I've said this before on Mike Sigall, but I wanted to be known, and I will say it again. That's what I'm going to do. I got a chance to interview with him around this time last year, if not a little bit later, prior to an invitational event, and he talked about how life had been hard on him lately. There was things that weren't going well. There was things that weren't going in his favor, and it was reflecting in his darts. And he said that he knew that he had to start getting life sorted so the darts could fly better. Well, what he has shown and what he's said very publicly is life has gone a lot better in these last couple of months, and those darts are showing to be better. That's why he's in the finals here. That's why he made Team USA for Chicago finals as well. I mean, he won multiple events, and he was one of the top finishing players across multiple regionals. So it really does show the mental health aspect of darts is such a heavy one that has such importance as we get a Broom Goes the Janitor 8 mark there.
Yeah, we sure did. Someone had to build a snowman. Keep going.
Whoa. We're at 6 now. That's impossible.
No, it's not. Also, Nick, I didn't ask you this question. What's your scoreline prediction this evening? There seems to be a right answer right now.
Brett Hollinday 2-0. No, I would have to say I was leaning towards Brett, but I still think there's plenty of time left in this. I'm gonna flip flop and take the Sigall comeback for a 9-7
To win it right out or outright.
Yeah, to win this one outright. I as much as I would love to see the first 2-time title holder, I think if Will had to do any other weeks of this on the controls, it would be the last of Will Stewart.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
I'm just going to label it better.
I have
next
Hollinday
time.
winning.
This is atrocious.
Yeah.
I have Florida Public Education, brother.
Oh my. Guys, just don't let Nick set up anything ever again. Remind me.
Guys, just don't let Nick.
Well, you already let Nick. He's coming to Cleveland, ladies and gentlemen. And
Look what you made me do.
that's thanks to everyone that helped out there. Mike Sigall gets the victory there in leg number 3. So 2-1 lead now for Hollinday, who will go first for the first time in the match here in leg number 4. But a 5-6-7 from Sigall.
Yeah,
very
good leg.
And excited to be there with you. But yeah, how about the dark community, man?
Yeah, there's so many things I want to say in regards to that. I was flabbergasted. I was behooved. I was many other words that Sean probably knows as we get a...
Boom goes the dynamite there for Brett Hollinday.
I believe that is his 4th of the night. 4 of 5, that is. And I'm going to make a little video that I'm going to post out tomorrow, really kind of talking about the situation, more so about like the Cleveland side of it, and what the community really rallied together to do and how much that means to us. So if you were involved, or even if you weren't, the love and appreciation is felt, and it was one of the most humbling experiences of my life in general, let alone my professional.
Yeah, I mean, out of nowhere, not your idea at all for someone who's made their name in the dark community themselves to kind of take it upon themselves to try and get you there, and then for not only that, but then the host, the tournament host, has to agree to have us on site and all of that, and the logistics of all those things. So we're excited. It gives us it takes it from an open weekend to something that we're going to be excited to bring you guys with a lot of great steel tip coverage.
Yeah. So Yep. Yes.
I
Well,
gotta ask, did your grandma's AC from the '80s just start or something?
oh, it's from the 70s, but yeah.
It's bad. It's bad, brother.
Oh, all
And I
right.
just
Oh, we're going
just
on a
mess
walk.
things up again.
We're going on a walk. We're going on a walk.
I'm going to throw up here if I keep watching his camera. Sigall, big 7 mark, but he's still down those points. Let's see how Hollinday attacks. Oh, he's going right at the 16s, 15s, and he hits him. Back up. No, he goes bull on dart 3. I love the move. What a 6 mark.
We're now at my grandpa's
Essentially
wood
a
shop.
coffin shot. Ooh, you sound much more hollow.
Yeah. Oh, this is a little bit more of an open room. It's a little echoey in here. Well, here's
Mas, por
Hollow
favor.
Day getting that win. 494.
Yeah, 494, the worst winning score average so far here in Division 2. Both gentlemen averaging below that for the season, but have raised it up tonight. 2 winning legs on the 6s. Mike Sigall's 5, 6, 7, and then Brett right there. 3-1 lead for Hollinday.
Yeah, and Hollanday's average right now with those first 2 legs being at the 6+ range, currently averaging that 5.5 to Mike Sigall's 4.54, which means Sigall's done a good job of starting to recover from that little bit of a slow start, especially that 3.8. But he's in some early troubles here, and he needs to figure out a way to get this to a 4-3 break one way or another.
And the problem is that Hollinday is 1 for 1 every time he shoots those trip 20s and taking those bad boys out. And right now, just 5 mark starts are not enough. As you see back there, watching along, Gina Holliday, Corey Beck, Blake Keel is back there. Want to let everybody know that.
Yeah, I love seeing these turnouts for the players. I mean, we don't get as many signs as we used to get, but I think people realize how hard it was to read them on the streams. I'm kind of upset that we still have never gotten those from Brian Henry. We need to get this figured out. But that being said, it is so cool, not just for us to be able to see, because it's cool to be able to watch these players play in front of an audience, but just think how much it means to these guys, right? To be able to have all these people behind you cheering in your corner, supporting you as you hit boom, goes the Dynamites!
I don't know if it cut out for everybody, but you went hard at that one.
I overdid
I always
it a little
appreciate
bit. I
that.
felt like I strained a little.
Well, I don't think that you were as ready as you thought you were.
No, I was not. I was trying to incorporate in the sentence. I was trying to beat you to the punch, actually, if we're being completely honest here. Brett is throwing some top-tier form and making me eat my words early, it seems, because this is this is what he's doing. This
He's throwing
is
a 7.
tough. This is dirty.
Yeah, this is quite the performance so far. Of course, his last match he shot a 5.24, and I mean, he's gone on streaks weeks after weeks of throwing these 5+ averages in a CSC Challenger Series. He did it the last time he won in season 4, so maybe he wins every 4 seasons.
Well, they say every 13 years a star is born. Every 4 seasons, a Division II champion is re-won.
Okay.
Michael Vinger won? No? No, was that I don't feel like that was an airball. Chat, was that an airball? I'm not reading chat tonight. Can you guys tell me if chat says that was an airball or not?
They all say it's an airball. One more needed from Hollinday. Not going to happen. He goes and point it up, though.
He does want to have his 3rd 6 of the night already. He's saving those for later.
Rachel goes, "Oh, trust me, it didn't cut out." Oh, they were not a fan of your boom goes to dynamite.
It's not my normal mic. It doesn't sound as bassy, I assume. I need a bass boost.
Yeah, that's what it is. 4-1 lead for Brett Hollinday at this point. 5-5-3.
And that 3.14 is concerning. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a slice of pie you don't want to have here in Division II finals.
I mean, when considering there's lemon meringue, key lime, apple, blueberry, you don't want that pie.
Don, that is an insane comment. because we are pretty chill overall this evening compared to normal. We haven't even mentioned any movie taglines. We haven't mentioned any food preferences. Nothing like that.
I actually just listed off a bunch of pies right before you said that. So,
besides then, yeah.
Look at Philly though. Starting off with a 2, body language immediately goes to like lean against the stool there. What do you think he's thinking right now, Sean?
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
No, he wouldn't be thinking that. He'd be thinking, Raggy.
Anyway, Jason Watt in the chat saying, tell Megan she can thank me later for giving her a break from you this weekend, Sean. Yeah, she hates you so much in a loving way. But she was not the happiest when I called to tell her the new plan. So, Megan, thank you for allowing everybody to get a chance to hear me this weekend.
Also, I just want to say, while Jason Watt's here, you actually did not request copyright permission. You reshare that photo of me, and Jen Mounts is going to send you a royalty check.
Weirdly enough, it was for the same amount that you sent Nick already, so you're even. Also, I'm going to say it, Nick. When everyone's sharing that picture around Jason, did you also not think that it was like a memorial? Like, send it around? Like something bad had happened to Nick.
I'll be honest, when I opened Facebook, because I did not know he did this. Like, I completely did not know this. I was like, did I die? Like, is this, like, what happened?
Like, this is what's going to happen. This is it.
And look at what Brett's doing right now. Finds a 6 there to push Philly down the line over to the corner pockets. A 5-1 is a brutal spot. 6-1 is a Willie Walker spot.
He goes photo credit, Jim Mounts. Oh, Dave, give us a chance. Give us a chance. You're going to love this. I'm telling you right now. The only difference here, bud, is it's about who misses, not who hits. And you're going to see some great darts in action.
If you don't like soft tip darts, we're going to have a great concert in the middle of our show. Don't forget, great concert at a break.
Oh, man.
Just in the nick of time. Yeah, that was great.
Mike Sigall, just in the nick of time, gets those 6-16s. Hollinday, though, with his bread and butter on those 18s.
Yeah, I mean, he's really signing his name dotted and underlined.
Man.
But look at that.
You got the trip for Singh, too. Big 7.
Yeah, that was a massive play there from Brett to send it right back, return to sender style. Sigall, who's starting to get a foothold in this leg, is unfortunately getting pushed to a very tough position. And yeah, big deflection there. No chance that they're headed to go in there.
This is about to be 5-1. With no real signs of Brett slowing down from a well above 5 average this evening.
I think right now what I would want to see from Sigall, and I saw this comment in the chat. I do have the chat somewhat open, but I'm not actively looking at tonight. I don't have the
you might need a possum, man.
I think he needs to. I do think slowing down his pace might help him out a little bit here. Just kind of get himself resettled. It's advice that we saw him do with Jeremy Lee not too long ago in the Pro-Am. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's something that comes into play here, because he kind of needs to get himself recentered.
Well,
don't think Don's back there going, start on the 17s, start on the 17s.
This was the kind of performance that won Brett Hollinday that season. He did take. What was it, season 6?
Season 4. Okay. Yeah, and he finished with a 5 above a 5.0 average. Yeah, for the entire season. You're absolutely right. And it was the entire season. He rolled through with a 5+ average.
I remember he was so good that season. We actually had a discussion of should we consider adding relegation and promotion. We literally talked about that because of how good he was that season and how we felt like that was unsustainable darts for Division 2. Well, then Division 2 and Division 1 continued to get better. He was just ahead of the curve there.
Yep. And Steven, that is correct. A Nick halftime show extravaganza will be going on here after this leg. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. Actually, hit that share button right now. Your friends and family are going to want to see this. It might be the performance of a lifetime. Going to be Grammy nominated one day.
Thank you. I don't think I'm a songbird of a generation, but I certainly think I'm the dead cat getting run over and over again of a generation.
Yeah, it's like so bad it's good type of thing.
Thank you. Like,
Yeah.
I can't think of a good
Like you have to
example.
keep watching the car accident even though you want to look away. That type of thing.
Yeah, and that's me. That's why I look up car accidents on YouTube all the time.
Yeah, it's like walking across hot coals, where like it hurts a whole bunch, but you feel really accomplished after you stick through it.
I don't think that's come up yet in my life.
I'm just letting you know.
Does that come up often in yours?
It's like hiking up a major mountain. When you get to the top, you're out of breath, but you feel like you did a lot for the world.
I don't know who
getting
Major Mountain is, but I would prefer to keep it that way. Going back to the match here, you can see Brett Hollinday giving a little shoulder stretch and getting really settled. Going over to the 17s is going to need to find all he can get, as Sigall has done a good job of getting an early lead here.
See what Hollinday can do. And also, Dave, this weekend, starting Friday, all the way through, steel tip darts right here on USA Darts. So come on back.
And this is tangentially related to the YouTube comments, but just because I'm thinking of Troy Leroy right now, I was at the airport today and I was sitting in line and security line with a bunch of New Zealand people, and I almost started asking them if like they say ticky tacky, but I realized that this doesn't mean they're darts fans necessarily, just because they're from New Zealand. And like I was like, all I know about New Zealand is from Troy Leroy and the bird, the kiwi bird.
Gina, you're not wrong. You're not wrong there. Great darts from Brett. And Nick, they're called New Zealanders. You don't have to say people from New Zealand. New Zealanders is probably fine.
All right. That was a good point. I'm going to have to write that down.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Kiwis is more of a borderline appropriate thing to say. Just depends on if you're friends with them or not. You know,
I would like to say I'm a man of the people. I'm like the Stephen Bunting of North American darts commentary.
Speaking of which, you know who added me as a friend today on Facebook? Here is Brett Hollinday.
Brett Hollinday added you on Facebook?
Oh, yeah, finally. Speaking of which, Leonard Gates still has not added me as a friend on Facebook. I have had that friend request sent for like 3 years now, and he just continues.
It's funnier if it doesn't add it. Like I would prefer that to continue on as long as possible, for no other reason than that's hilarious.
Yeah, Dave, check out our stuff. A lot of steel tip darts action as well. We bring both from the U.S.
Now, looking here, 1 point difference, but Mike Sigall has failed to really take advantage of the 2018 houses that he had, and giving Brett Hollinday prime opportunity to take away the prime real estate and do some prime damage.
Big last. Yeah, you saw him start on the 18s. That's his honeypot, so he's going to expect to close that in the first or second dart. Does exactly that, and now it's a 52-point lead, my friend.
Yeah, and it's a bad week if you're a Mike in the seat of a CSC. Right now is kind of how it feels early on, just coming out a little slow. And I really do feel like Sigall's going to pick it up after the break. But this is just, he knows what he needs to be doing. And maybe we have to mention this. There's big power outages in his area. That's why he's not playing at Scoots and he's also playing at Drinks. Now, granted, he said he's very comfortable playing at Drinks. It's nothing to the establishment, but it's not where you were expecting to play. And you had to make play all day. You were trying to figure out if you could or could not play at certain places and whatnot. So, it is a certain level of comfortability when you've spent 7 weeks of a season playing up to one bar at a certain point.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like Drinks has the rations needed to play darts, but on top of that, you're right. Now, this also needs to be said. Jeremy Lee is starting to he needs to be careful because he's starting to turn into the guy who shows up to the losers matches. Like in these things. So you don't want to be a jinx.
We need to send him to the Alley Pally and help out some of our North American guys. Be jinx for the Europeans. We'll have him cheer on all those guys.
Well, Brett, killer on the 15s once again. 488. Honestly, Sigall's throwing a 338, and it's because he's having to push. Don't you agree with that? Like he's being forced under pressure to push. That's why he's just shot there at the 15s, the 17s. You agree with that?
Yeah, I think Sigall's stuck in the enigma of his own mind, right? It's one of those situations where Brett is making you feel like every self-doubt you've ever had is coming true in this moment because Brett's playing well and you came out a little
6-1. That was his worst winning leg, a 4-6-7. So, I'd be really hard pressed to trust myself at this point. 6-1 lead for Brett Hollinday over Mike Sigall as we head into the break. The King is really close to relinquishing his throne early in this first dip opportunity.
Any Swifties, any Nickies in chat, you're going to enjoy this halftime show. Make sure to tune right in back to see how this match concludes and if we will crown a winner of Division 2 tonight or will it go on to next week. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Teixeira.
Test telephone switch on.
I got smarter, I got harder in the nick of time.
Yeah.
Honey, I rose up from the dead. I do it all the time. I got a list
Bar
of
swap's
names
only to
and
swap
yours
between
red
bars.
Underline.
That's why it's called bar swap.
I check it twice.
It's just
Ooh. Look what you
I
made
don't
me
want
do.
it fade.
Look
I want
what
it
you
bar
made
swap.
me
The
do.
reason why
Look what you
is so I
just
can
made
work on
me
other
do.
hazards if I need to, but if I
What
hit
you
bar
made me
swap, it'll
ooh.
reload
Look
the
what you made
preview
me
with the
do.
other bar that's
Look
not
what
on
you made me
program.
do.
That's how I program.
Look what you just made me do. Look what you just made me.
Yeah, you can't use
Well,
it
this
to do
David
other phase. I'm sorry.
Marchant was going to be a fan.
Was that good? Was that good?
And no, Stephen Bunting accepted my friend request today on Facebook. It was really funny.
Actually,
Get snazzy with our April Dart of the Month and raffle. All Heroes Chizzy darts are 15% off all month long, including his latest Heroes Chizzy Series 3 with tons of barrel weights to choose from. You can automatically enter our raffle to win your choice of a Stick-It dart holder in the style Splash or Comic when you purchase our April Dart of the Month special. So, what are you waiting for? Don't forget, we ship internationally and you can find these darts at a2zdarts.com. Best of luck to everyone! Got a dartboard with shabby segments and worn out Sigall? Don't buy that brand new dartboard just yet. There's a much better solution. Knowing how and when to rotate your dartboard is an underrated practice many players neglect. Why rotate your dartboard? Although Sigall is self-healing, you can't prevent the damage that occurs over time with high traffic segments like the treble 20. By rotating your dartboard, you can replace the 20 segment with a different segment that sees a lot less dart action. The damage gets distributed throughout all the segments, making your board last much longer. Decide how to rotate your dartboard. Whether you go clockwise or counterclockwise, be sure to stick with one method of rotating your board for consistent results. If you rotate it clockwise one time and then counterclockwise the next, you may be going back to a previously damaged segment instead of a fresh one. Return your board accessories back to your board once you've rotated it, starting with the number ring, and you're done. Dartboards are a big investment, so it's important to take good care of them. Regularly rotating your dartboard will help ensure you are throwing at a fresher 20 segment and will help make your dartboard last longer. Hope you found this video helpful, and we'll see you next time.
Let me tell you about A to Z Darts. We're a specialty dart store with over 10,000 different products. We create in-depth videos and blogs to help improve your game and showcase our products. We give helpful advice on how to practice darts, the fundamentals of form and mechanics, and how to make better decisions when purchasing your darting equipment. Whether you're brand new or a seasoned player, we try to provide fun and informative content. I'm Jen, the creative director for A to Z Darts. I've been playing for over 10 years, and I've traveled the world competing in and promoting the sport. This is Will. He runs our live streaming company, USA Darts, and and travels the globe as well to broadcast major darting events and interview PDC players alike. You'll find over 2,000 different sets of darts on our website. Guessing right now you're pretty interested in our resources? Learn about form, throwing mechanics, practice routines, scoring and grouping, checkout methods, cricket strategy, and much more. Visit a-zdarts.com to take advantage of our blog or follow us on social media at azdarts today.
Test telephone switch to arm light on.
Switching command to internal. Fuel tank pressure. 9, 8, ignition. Main stage. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Fuel tank pressure.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second half of this first half of the finals of Division Number 2, the CSC Challenger Series in Season 8. I only say the first half because right now it's not looking good for our king seat holder. Mike Sigall down 6-1 to Brett Hollinday. Unless there are shades of Willie Walker versus Mike Maloney, Nick Teixeira, I don't know how Mike gets back into this one.
Yeah, the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster right now. Currently 5.38 for Brett after 7 legs, and a 4.16 for Mike. So Mike down half a point, Brett over half a point. That's even more than that. So
yeah, I mean, I see in the chat, Daniel. I see the comment there, and we can bring it up. I don't know if he'll want us to, and that's what I'm saying. I don't know if he'll think of any of this as an excuse, right? But there are leagues going on both sides of the board. We see a lot of our players deal with that in the past. Now, Brett is not dealing with that. So we'll see how that continues on as we move forward. Brett definitely has that open area. But
your bar swap isn't working.
We are right back to Brett here, but Brett's 5.38. I mean, I don't care who you are in Division 2, you're probably getting walloped by your opponent throwing that average. You're getting walloped in Division 1 most of the time.
Oh, sorry, I just figured out why Will's having an issue. I'm going to message him. Sorry, keep talking. You're saying great stuff.
Good. I'm glad that you're just talking about that out loud. This is the best part.
Doing the thing I always joke about.
You're live. You're live. You're live now. So Brett does get the 5 mark. Half it like the game half it? Yeah, of course. Or are you telling us to like cut our talking in half? Because that's actually probably the best that's ever been given to us if that was the case. But I'm probably overreading that. Yeah, game half, it's great. Hi, welcome back, Nick.
Hi. Sorry, there's
You're doing
so much
commentary
happening.
tonight.
I'm doing commentary tonight. So normally my job is to sit back in a chair, press my buttons, don't make any sense, and then like laugh very awkwardly into the microphone, and sometimes background commentate while you guys are commentating. But that being said, right now let's just talk about the brass tacks of Mike's situation. These players know going into the season that they get to pay a entry fee for a chance to win a lot of money, but also be on this live feed, right? The idea is to show off these players in these different areas, and they know that they have to go to any bar within 60 miles that has cameras, and whether your preferred one is working or not. And Mike was actually the first one to suggest this. So don't get me wrong. Situation's not ideal. Obviously, there's going to be frustrations there with that. And we talked about that earlier. The comfort of playing in scoots for him is probably second to none because he's been doing it the whole season. But what Mike is also is the kind of player that doesn't make excuses. He's the kind of player that knows that he can play despite those circumstances. And right now, he's just going to have to overcome those. And if he does, it makes it all the sweeter.
Big 8 mark there from Mike. Speaking of all the sweeter, he's coming out of the break, firing. And that's what he really needs to do, right? All everything else aside, all the little extra things that we can talk about. Mike's got to come out, and he's got to come out strong. 5 pluses is going to be what it takes tonight. That's what Brett has continuously shown. So you know what you got to do. Now it's just getting down to business and getting it done. And that's difficult. I mean, Brett's making this extremely difficult. Even there, he goes 5 bowls, right? Just to ensure that there's a little bit of extra pressure on Mike and that it's not as easy as he wants it to be. Cheers, David. That being said, Sigall coming out of the break looks like he's going to make it 6-2, and it is PPD player advantage rule. He will go first until it becomes 6-4. There's a chance to get right back in this.
Yeah, we've literally seen this before, and you could say the Mike Maloney incident from Willie Walker from season 1 is not the norm, and it wasn't. But it is certainly. There's a reason you play out everything. There's a reason that there's no rules that say dogs can't play basketball. You play it out to see what happens.
What?
Airbud?
Okay. 4.70 is going to win that leg for Sigall, which tonight is a gift. Let's be honest. Do the 4-1-1 from Brett. Still way better than I'll ever shoot, but that's a gift for this leg. Mike's got to get still above those 5s. He's got to find that next gear. And again, he's going to do-si-do go first once again. PPD player advantage rule in effect. And hey, Nick, if you haven't heard yet, the PDC just announced the 2025 U.S. Darts Masters lineup. You can check out the full player lineup and travel tips for New York with A to Z Darts travel guide for the 2025 U.S. Darts Masters. We got the Lukes, Humphreys, and Littler, Stephen Bunting. We have Damon Hedda, Rob Cross, Gerwin Price, Michael Van Gerwen, and last but certainly not least,
might be the least,
Nathan Aspinall, the 2019 champion.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, Nick.
Have you heard?
Bird's the word?
The bird is the word. Okay, we're sharing the brain cell tonight, folks. That is a bad news for chat. Maybe Daniel Dankovich was right.
It might be a bad news for the entire weekend, to be quite honest with you guys.
No, we have a lot of extra incentives there to put on one of the best performances you probably will ever hear in WDF silver event history.
Except for when I've done those in the past, for sure.
No. This will be way better.
Or at least equal to.
No. It significantly, statistically, categorically.
I mean, the only thing that's changing there would be Will versus you. So what are you saying?
I'm saying that I didn't think this through.
Ouch.
Back to the match here. No. I love Will and comms. Let's be real. Or let's be honest.
Be honest, please. As Mike Sigall takes up the 19s, going to go back into the 20s, ideally, but goes left and right. And that's what we're seeing. A little bit too many marching darts. Too many left, right, left darts going on there for Mike Sigall.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We've talked about this a little bit with the bob of his throw.
A little rocket in his action.
He does a little bit of rocket, and I think that sometimes can also contribute to the release point of why he can go left and right a little bit, because he typically does that. Like, we see some of these guys miss high-low a lot. He does typically have a little bit more left-right, and it's kind of a all or nothing with Sigall starts. I feel like he hits a lot of 7s, but he follows with some 3 sometimes, and that's the high-pressure moments of his throw.
What a time for a snowman there for Brett Hollinday. 8 marks on the board. Back in control, and I was going to say it. This is a huge scrappy leg that Mike has to win, and that was who could hit the big shot first, and it was Brett.
And Brett, can he follow with a third dart trip? He wants to. Yeah, I had a feeling he was going to take that swing based off the flight positions there. Doesn't collect. So this is Sigall's chance. He needs to take advantage of any of these legs he's getting the start in right now, especially with the player advantage rule. That's going to be your key to try to come back here. It was the key that we saw Mike Maloney almost use against Ram. We started to rally for a little bit there before Ram went ahead and did what Ram Guevara does and scroosted him.
He did scroosted him. That's for sure. Right now, Brett Hollinday doing what he does best and just continues just to march forward towards the finish line. About to take a 7-2 lead. Nick, I was going to pick Hollinday tonight, but I did not expect this. That being said, I also wasn't expecting Brett to shoot as lights out as he's been up to this point. And yeah.
If you called Brett throwing a 5.22, I'd say, man, that's a little high. If you called Mike Sigall throwing a 4.23, I'd say, man, that's a little low. And when they both happen at the same time, that is a tough scenario. We've seen this happen before in other matches, but typically in the finals, you get the best of both. And right now we're getting the best of Brett and Mike. Here's the thing. Doesn't matter right now. This tonight will give him extra motivation for next week if he doesn't come through. He can still come through, but if he doesn't, I don't think we're going to see this. This is not the type of issue that shows itself twice in a row.
Well, anyway, the wind blows. Nothing else really matters. As Brett Hollinday, big 7 mark.
Gentlemen, let's just go ahead and stop with the movie quote or the song quotes here, guys.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I'm pretty sure you just had a rock song there, bud.
How could this happen?
What
to
song
me?
it is? I don't think that really was the case.
Yeah, and 2 trailer park girls go around the outside. 3 in the bed there for Brett Holland.
Boom goes the dynamite.
What?
He has 6 of 7 tonight, folks. Get it together. There's nothing saying a dog can't play basketball.
He said, "Hey, what's up? Hello."
Jason Derulo. We broke Sean.
Oh. Mike's going to step up. See if he can creep back into the driver's seat and the point total. Not quite going to do that.
Yeah, this is just scary, Brett, man. This is great. I mean, this is like getting into top 4, top 8 D1 darts, right? When you're in that 5-2 range and you're living there, and he might taper down a little bit. It might get close to that 5. He might go up more. There's still a match
This
left.
is winning darts. This is a huge moment.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, my friend.
No. That's a good call out because this is massive if this goes, because Sigall needs this rally cry. We already talked about him needing this for the player advantage reasons, but he also
gets the double.
He needs this. He needs the rally.
Trip
he
17,
needs to
trip
take
17,
advantage.
Trip 15. Trip 17, trip 15. Oh, just above the wire. Back to the bowl he should go. Just a bit outside on the last one.
Yeah, through that last hour, like the Sean Green book of bullseyes.
Yeah. Just straight to the left.
And he points a little extra, but doesn't get it. Then the opportunity handed right back one more time.
It's the
by
same
2 points.
opportunity. Yep, same opportunity. Did not get it. So Hollinday, 1 bowl needed. Yeah, I can see in the chat what you guys are saying there, and I did notice that. I do think it was just how the flight grabbed on the dart. I do think it was in the double. It just the way the glitch worked on the screen, it made it look like it was right next to the single. But I don't think that Mike would have backed it up if he would have saw that actually be the case. So I'm going to take his word that it was actually in the double there. Just like hopefully everyone else does, like they should.
Well,
at the end of the day, Brett Hollinday wins it. Boom goes the dynamite, and it's a 7-2 lead for Hollinday.
And a 6-2 lead on the 9 mark counts for Brett over Mike right now. That's a big disparity.
Yes,
but to be fair, positive notes for Mike. He just doubled the amount of 9 marks he hit tonight.
Yes, he did.
Now, Sean, like, do you give yourself a pep talk in this moment? Like, if you had to put yourself in Mike's shoes, right? Like, are you pep talking yourself? Are you trash talking yourself? Are you just nihilistic about the moment? I mean, what do you try
Oh
to do
man,
at this point?
I'm wondering, how did I get to the king seat of Division Two, being who I am? And of course, this person's going to kick my butt because I've been throwing out of my booty this whole entire time. That's what I would be thinking. So I'm just grateful to be sitting there in that position with how actually bad at darts I typically am. But Mike, I don't know. I don't know his style, if he is coaching himself up there, if he is just kind of trying to almost become dead to it, to where you can just relax and do whatever you need to do and just see what happens. But yeah, Brett's doing exactly what he needs to do. Just continue to put pressure on. And if I'm Mike, I take it one dart at a time. Try to hit one triple every, like, don't try and overdo it. You don't have to be perfect, but you got to start playing better.
And it's so easy to start pushing and not even realizing how much you're pushing when you know you're under the pressure, when you know you're under the heat. Playing in a different environment, playing on the live stream, and playing against that informed Brett Hollinday. These are all tough things.
It's impossible not to. And and it's not a slight that he's doing that. It's just, it's legitimately hard to throw just one dart at a time when you're watching your opponent throw as well as Brett is. And you could see it from Mike in his throws. He'd scream out loud. You could see it in the background, throwing his hands up the air, throwing his darts up in the air for 6 marks. And that's when you know you're pushing, right? And Dave, to answer your question, no, it's a race to 9. So the first person to get to 9 wins this bad boy.
And here's the other thing too is, looking at the current D2 world, the 4-5 match average is kind of like your baseline. You need to win with this average or more to expect a win. If you win with less than that average, it was not the norm of the match, right? And not the norm of what you'll see in the season. And right now, Brett is performing 0.6 above that, while Sigall is 0.4 below that threshold. So leading to a 1.01 difference between these two players right now in average. That's a whole mark around. Mike's hitting 4s while Brett's hitting 5s.
And look at this. Brett immediately punishes. That was a Mike Sigall mistake. He let frustration on the first 2 darts throw that third dart at the 17s instead of back at the 20s where he should have been. And now he's lost those 20s and has to find a new number. And only 3 marks in the 16s. And now you feel almost hopeless because Brett's getting 3 darts at the 16s and 15s that he's been almost automatic at. Just like this. It's insane.
Oh, disgusting.
Gross.
Disgusting. And a near coffin shot.
Pretty much, yeah.
This is a masterclass from Hollinday. But the difference is, like I said earlier, Mike Sigall, he's about to go 8-3 down potentially. Let's be honest. This is going to go Brett's way unless the most incredible comeback in CSC history starts right now. What I will say, though, is that Mike Sigall won't make this mistake twice in a row. Now, Brett, if he keeps up this form 2 weeks in a row, still going to be a tough nut to crack, but
100%.
I don't think we see that. Think we see a difference to go next week, no matter what.
I agree with that. And he's had to wait a couple weeks, right? It's been a few weeks since he's played competition darts. He's having to play at a new location. He's got league matches going on either side of him. He's not going to take any of those excuses because Brett's honestly performed well enough to make the excuse. Brett's shot phenomenal. Boom goes the dynamite anyway from Sigall because he's not going to give up, right? And we'll see what happens.
And it's also the confidence. You have to remind yourself who the heck you are when you're at the line. You're the best player at the hockey when you're throwing. You're the only player there, but you're the best one. And he knows that he's better. Mike Sigall has 1 game over a 5 tonight. He knows that he's better than that any day of the week. Like 365 days a year, 364 of them, he's better than this. He just happens to be falling on this day for him, and he's just going to have to snap back into it. And I think this is going to be a great motivator. But for Brett, you have to be feeling on top of the world. You're thinking, man, I am the adorable Brett Hollinday, according to Jen Mounts, and I'm doing what I need to get done.
And it's every mistake that Mike is throwing, Brett's immediately punishing it. Like right there, Mike 1 mark. He's dominating this leg. Doesn't close the 18s. Brett punishes it. And does close the 18s there, but again, I would expect at least a 6 mark from Brett on the 17s, just with how he's been playing. Love you too. And there's the 6 mark.
Butt Brayson. Chat. Say
The good news is that this is why you win the king seat. Gives you a chance to lose this and still come back ready to go. And it looks like we're going to have 2 scoops of ice cream up for grabs in both Division 1 and Division 2 next week, my friend.
By the way, nobody heard me say that but you guys, so congrats.
Oh, I know.
I know. This is just what you guys do to me every time.
Yeah. I do it as a joke. I imagine
thing.
that you're saying I love you to me since you never do. And so it's part of my fantasy to say.
And
that.
I wanted chat to say goodnight to Bryson.
Yeah.
That's my man. Brett Hollinday, he's getting pressured for a 6. If he hits a 6 mark, he probably wins the match.
If he hits
right
a
here.
6 mark. It's Brett Hollinday on the 15s and 16s tonight. This is
$1 says it's a 5.
It's about as gold as it gets. It's not going to be a 5. It's going to be a 6. And $1 is owed. Brett Hollinday is 3 bowls away from a 9-2 victory in this first dip. And Mike's going to have to just forget this took place.
No, he has to remember it. This is fuel for the fire. No, you get fired up based off something like this because it is just as much Brett doing what he needed to do as Mike not doing what he needed to get done. And that's the type of stuff that really makes a dart player motivate to the next level. He's the type of player that will watch us back, take the notes, take the lumps, and move on to try to give it back next week. Don't forget it. Channel it.
Un más, por favor. And there it is. Brett Hollinday, masterful display, 5.0 in the last leg. And, Phillies can just get on out of there. Brett, 9-2 victory, one of the most lopsided victories of this season, and it comes in the finals of the first dip of Division 2 of the CSC Challenger Series. Nick Teixeira, surprising to say the least. Not surprising as how well Brett shot, but the difference there between the players. Next week, we're in for another doozy of a final.
Yeah, certainly agree. As Brett Hollinday finishing out at a 5.14 to the 4.1 of Philly Mike Sigall. Legend really living up to the name in his finals performance metrics, huh?
Yeah, and he's going to feel really good going to next Wednesday, that's for sure. I won't be here for next Wednesday's match, but I'll be there in spirit because it's going to be fantastic. And definitely watch the CSC and not what I'm doing next week. That's for sure. Because that's going to be way better than what I'm doing. But Monday, we have another great match. Mike Maloney, Ram Guevara, winner takes all, $4,500 to $2,500. And then Wednesday, winner takes all, $2,500 to $1,500. Woo.
Yeah.
$3,000 up for grabs next week.
Have we ever had both finals go to the double dip?
Not in the same season, I don't think.
Not in the same season, right? So this is exciting. We're getting a whole extra week. We're getting a week 11 of action, folks, and we will be bringing you that coverage live, whether it be in grandma's basement or grandpa's wood shop. We're excited to be bringing you every bit of it. And hey, can we just give a shout out? Will really locked it in at the end there. Let's go, Will.
He hot mic'd us a little bit. He had his struggles, but it's because your system was twisted. I can only imagine the ADHD organization brain of yours trying to do that. So, Will, congratulations on getting the job accomplished. Hopefully you've made that more of your own thing this time. But listen, this weekend is thanks to all of you that we're going to be bringing you coverage for the Cleveland Extravaganza for live in person.
Yeah, look forward to the USA Darts page. We will be posting more information about what that will actually look like. Are you this way? Yeah. And then also on top of that, you can also go and I will have a little video up on my page kind of talking my perspective through everything and thanking everybody involved. So, of course, we appreciate each and every one of you. No, that's why I'm looking away, though. But no, truly thankful for every one of you and thankful for all the PPD fans that have been hanging in with us week after week for more continued action. Oh, you aren't looking that way anymore.
Yeah,
so now it's awkward.
I stopped staring
okay.
at you.
No, I wouldn't know because I was looking the other way. That's how eyes work.
Well, guys, that's going to do it for us this evening before it goes even more off the rails. Thank you much for joining us. We will see you next week. Division 1, Division 2, finals of the finals. I'm Sean Green. That's Nick Teixeira being awkward.
Look what you made me do. Look what
Bye.
you made me do.
Have a great night.
Look what you made me do.
Stream the Cleveland Extravaganza.
Love you guys. Thanks for watching.